All right, welcome to episode 13 of O'Reilly O'Reilly. Things to think about. So, last week we were talking about gratitude and the importance of gratitude and how it can benefit everything you do by just being a little more grateful. It'll help you change your attitude, which we know is the one thing you can do to change absolutely everything in your life. Change your attitude. So, what we want to talk about today is a growth mindset. Now it's only mid-December. There's still a couple weeks left to the year. And it's funny, the way Bob Proctor used to talk about making a decision. You make a decision very quickly because if you don't, your paradigm or your set of habits and beliefs that you have that have grown up with that have got you this far are going to stop you right in your tracks at whatever limiting belief it is that it needs to stop you in. So the paradigm is very important. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I asked my friend ChatGPT the top 10 things that will improve if you have a growth mindset and you start to do something about that in December. So we're talking about 2024 is coming up. A lot of people make plans for a new year. They'll start January the 1st and that'll last for a couple of weeks or might even last for 6 or 8 weeks, a couple months. And excuse me, then all of a sudden the brakes come on. And that process of going to the gym, that new trend of getting up early, that, reading half an hour every day or whatever that was going to be new to help them grow or to help them be a better person comes to a screeching halt. That's the paradigm. The paradigm controls everything you do. Whether you believe that or not, that's a fact. That's how your subconscious mind can help you or hold you back. So what we want to provide is an opportunity to be coached through a process, a step-by-step process that can get you on the other side of that paradigm, that can help you understand, become aware of how you think and how those habits and beliefs limit what you think. Think a little bit bigger. Make 2024 a year of success and your biggest year ever. So that's making a decision to accept or adopt a growth mindset. So some of the benefits of accepting or adopting a growth mindset. Number one, increased resilience. So it says embracing a growth mindset in December sets the stage for a resilient spirit. When challenges arise, instead of feeling defeated, you'll see them as opportunities to learn and grow. The setbacks won't break you, they'll make you stronger. And I'm kind of reminded, if we talk about increased resilience, I was in the investment business for private investments for a number of years and just kind of got away from it. I wasn't doing the work and my mindset was kind of going negative in a kind of a down economy. And I've since corrected that and I've since increased my resilience with a growth mindset. But I'm reminded of a real estate deal that we did, and it started in 2013. And 2013, 2014, 15, oil was going down. The economy was slowing down. There was a 30% vacancy in downtown Calgary, or better. That's only that what was being reported. So it was probably closer to 40%. But either way, devastating to the real estate business in downtown Calgary. And here we are promoting a building, brand new building in downtown Calgary. We're not too far from it. Anyway, it ran into several problems, none of which could have been foreseen. The economy slowed down, 30% vacancy, leasing companies that we needed to lease the space of the building, before it was built. Well, that's when the bank wants to give you some more money when you tell them, well, we got it 75% leased. Well, the bank increased their rate of what they needed, and everybody was kind of slowing down. There was no leasing going on. So that kind of was the first slowdown. We changed the building, structure and the idea behind the building, what it was going to be for. And then just the slowdown in the economy for 2, 3, 4 years, a couple of major contractors in town with great histories, great reputations went out of business, and they were working on the building. So, where a lot of companies would have walked away, happy to say that this particular group stayed with it, stuck with it, persevered, increased resilience. I guess, when you're in the industry, you're used to ups and downs, but this was kind of on a major scale, up, major scale down. So increased resilience. They stuck with it. They got the project done, and some people lost some money, but there's money to be made. And for the people that continued on, way to go. Increased resilience, a growth mindset. Unleashed creativity was number 2. When you start thinking about adopting a growth mindset, all of a sudden it's like, wow, yeah, I could do that thing I always wanted to do. That's what I'm going to do in 2024. Yeah, I'll do that. And your mind starts to race, and wow, excellent ideas coming up, and you're writing stuff down, you're getting excited about it. And that's what you need to do to accept a growth mindset. Transformed perspective on failure. I guess I'll go back to my own story for that. I've been an entrepreneur since 2009, just kind of working on my own, getting different contracts, commission sales, investment game. I'm getting back into the investment business, which I'm pretty excited about as well. And so a transformed perspective on failure. So if you're afraid to fail, then you're probably not going to try very much. Well, when I got let go from corporate in 2008, in 2009, I hooked up with a house mover who they jack up the bungalows out of the central part of the city and truck them out of town, cut them off the basements and put them on a trailer and truck them out of town and plant them somewhere else. If it's a good structure, it'll get done. If it's not, of course, it gets torn down. But somebody mentioned that that's a way to start into real estate. So I was like, yeah, okay, well, let's go do that. So we did that. We worked on 3 projects, and I like to say we broke even, but we actually lost a bunch of money and got ripped off to lose that money. And it was kind of, well, that's what happened. It was not anybody's blame but mine, and I'm responsible for everything I do. And we didn't play the blame game on it. We just kind of accepted it, learned from it, and carried on. But that whole failure, that was a big failure. And I think I probably beat myself up over it a little bit, but not for very long. And then it was like, okay, well, let's get back to work. And then just kind of found my way through a number of different things and got into the investment business. So, yeah, I failed my way to success, I'll say. But it transformed my perspective on failure. So if you think you're going to fail and you're afraid to try, then accept that as a failure, being afraid to try. But don't be afraid to fail. Expect to fail, but expect to learn and persevere and increase resilience. Keep going. Elevated self-confidence, number 4. Absolutely. You start thinking about something and you get excited about it, and boy, your self-confidence starts to creep up there. And yeah, I can do anything. And then when you go to tell somebody, well, you're probably not that confident about it, or they might say something, and then all of a sudden your confidence just goes whoo, and it's like, yeah, that probably won't work. Well, that's your paradigm again, stepping in to say, you can't do that. Yeah, you were told way back in the day that, you're not going to be that successful. Stick to the job, and don't go doing anything else. But an elevated self-confidence comes with a growth mindset, because if you don't know or you don't understand how things work, well, that creates doubt and fear. And the only way to relieve yourself of doubt and fear and anxiety is to study and understand things, understand how your mind works. And having a growth mindset, of course, personal development, growth mindset, that's what you're doing. You're understanding how your mind works. So your elevated self-confidence, it might take a hit every now and again, but once you understand how things work, you'll be able to control it and keep it at a certain level, because you'll understand how to gain success and how to work through your failures, how to be more resilient, how to be more creative. All these things stack up on each other. And then that's where the term quantum leap starts to come into the personal development business. A quantum leap is just, you're here, but then you're here. You don't even understand how it happened, but you just know it did happen. And that self-confidence kind of stays up there, and it'll still take a bump, but it won't be near as severe. Number 5, strengthened relationships. Wow, that I can speak of personally. Bought the dream home back in 2014. God, we loved it. It was an acreage 15 minutes outside of town. And we got a horse, had a couple dogs. Fire pit was always going. The workshop up above, the barn. Beautiful home. Lots of visitors. Lots of big meals. And then I wasn't doing the work. So, financially, we struggled to kind of keep up with it all. And anyway, ended up selling it. We were there for 8 years and sold it to get back to business and start making some money again. And through all that, the stress that kind of wears on your spouse, it was difficult. Lots of days, difficult days. And I'm not going to get too personal, but we had a lot of stressful days going through that and trying to carry that debt as long as we did, and then finally get out from under it. And it was just more resilience. The creativity, boy, I was trying all kinds of different things to make it work, but wasn't able to make it work. Gave me a new perspective on failure, just keep trying, never give up, right? Never give up. But it strengthened our relationship. And today we're into our 42nd year together as a couple, and married for 37 of those, I guess, maybe a little more. But we've never been, a stronger couple. The faith I have in my wife and my wife in me, that's so important to be at this. I'm over 60 now, and having that is just a beautiful part of my life. That is, it's a beautiful part of my life. And it's a very important part of my life. So having a growth mindset can strengthen your relationship. So think about that. Heightened motivation. With a growth mindset, every goal feels achievable. The prospect of personal and professional development becomes a driving force, propelling you to tackle challenges head on with newfound determination. And that is the way it is when you make a decision to take this on. Personal development, it's like, how many years have you gone on where it's just kind of the same year after year? You're kind of right at the edge of success, but you're struggling along. You're probably not that happy, and a lot of stress, maybe financial, maybe relationship wise, maybe just can't figure it out. You're bored with life, bored with the job. I was fortunate enough to have many jobs. I guess I got laid off out of my first real career type job as a welder in a paper mill. 6 years I was in there, excellent experience, came out and got into sales. And from there, kind of moved to different provinces and quit and got let go from some things and quit some others. But never really had the opportunity to get bored. And if I did get bored early, then I quit and I moved on to something else. But heightened motivation, when you get motivated to do something and you do make that decision and you decide to carry through and you're going to, yeah, this is the year. This is when it's going to happen. Like right now, I'm making a decision. I'm going to fix me. So that's what we got to do, is talk about exactly that. You got to get motivated, but then you got to get inspired. And again, the paradigm comes in 2 weeks, 2 months later, and you end up just falling back into the same old routines. And yeah, I was going to quit the job, but I guess I didn't. And I'm just comfortable doing what I do, and I guess I'll settle. So that's heightened motivation can help you make a decision, help you make a move. Accelerated learning. So again, we talk about the quantum leap. When you change one thing like your attitude, well, your attitude towards yourself, your attitude is your attitude. It's your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions become your attitude. So if you're always blaming someone else for your particular circumstance, then you got to get over that. You got to stop that. You are responsible for everything you do. So consider that. And then with a growth mindset, you eagerly seek knowledge, relishing the joy of discovery. And then December becomes a month of intellectual curiosity, where every experience is an opportunity to expand your understanding of the world. So accelerated learning, once you make that decision and accept the idea that, yes, you're going to grow personally, you're going to change your attitude, you're going to start to study, you're going to accelerate the learning process, because once you change your attitude towards the whole thing and you make a decision to do so, your attitude you wear everywhere. Your attitude towards yourself, your attitude towards others, your attitude towards work, money, religion, everything. When you decide to become a little more open, have a better attitude, and there's things you can do to help you along that process. You can't just reach way over there and say, okay, my attitude has changed, because there's several steps you have to take to get there. And it's a step-by-step process. So that's kind of what you need to think about as well. Accept the idea of change, but then, and then get on that journey. And that journey is either on your own or with a group that can take you by the hand and guide you down the path and keep you out of the rabbit holes and keep you out of the weeds and just keep guiding you along the path and speed up, accelerate that learning process. And that's where a mentor comes in, and a coach. Number 8, an optimistic outlook. So changing your attitude. We talk about seeing the good, harvesting the good from everything. So if you've failed, what did you learn? If you made a mistake along the way, what did you learn? So you got to harvest the good. And when you change that attitude, you'll start to see things. I always say, somebody with a bad attitude kind of goes around like this, just blaming everybody else, and just kind of can't get out of their own way. And when you start to change your attitude, all of a sudden see a little bit of light up there, and you start looking for more light, and you start looking for more light, and all of a sudden the blinders come off, and it's like, wow, there's an opportunity over here. Hey, there's another opportunity. And now that I've seen that opportunity, wow, it's created 2 more opportunities, and so on and so on. And you begin to meet more people, you begin to see more things, and all of a sudden the blinders come off, and you have a little more optimism in your day. And we always like to say that we're awesomeists, because there's a pessimist, right? See the negative, find the negative in everything. Every statement is just negative. And then there's the optimist, who likes to see the good who can find the good side of everything and probably project a better story. And then there's an awesomist, and that's always positive. And I was going to talk about toxic positivity, but I'm not going to talk about toxic positivity any more than I just did. But an awesomist is just, you've got that growth mindset, and you are ready, and you're willing, and you're able to make a change in your life, to bring something forward, to whatever it was that you think you can do, but you're almost afraid, or you are afraid to do or talk about. When you're an awesomist, you kind of get that courage to stand up and say, yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you get an optimistic outlook because your attitude is a little better. And all these things pile on top of each other. Once you make a decision to create that growth mindset for yourself. Enhanced problem-solving skills. Yes. When you ever sit in a boardroom and you've got a problem, and all the team gets together and you got to sort out some sort of problem that's going on, or try and resolve an issue, then the idea is to sit there, think outside the box, right? That's the way everybody talks about it. And if you can, you bring people in from outside, outside the immediate issue, try to keep them within the company. And if not, bring in a consultant, of course, but bring in someone from the outside that is not aware of the issue or the problem, and then just explain it and get some sort of a response from them. Like, how would they solve that problem? They don't know anything about it, but how would they solve that problem? And boy, you'll get some excellent answers. And that's your human resources, as they call them. Use your human resources. Use the truck driver. Use the janitor. Use the CEO. Use the people that are in the company, around the business, that really don't know what's going on in that particular instance, but can shed some light from an absolutely different perspective. And when you get on the other side of the counter and act like the customer or the client back to the issue, that's a great way to look at it too. And then you start writing things down, and there is no wrong answer. Anything can be done. So think of the wildest ideas to solve the problem, and then whittle it down to something that's going to work out. But don't be squashing ideas that are coming up just because that you don't agree with them, right? So having a growth mindset will help you enhance your problem-solving skills and come up with way more ideas. Again, it's the creativity of it all. Fulfillment and satisfaction, of course. Fulfillment, what are you doing day to day? Are you just kind of punching the clock day to day? Just really bored out of your mind, not really giving it your all, not even excited to get up in the morning? You need a little fulfillment in your life. So you start taking on a personal growth mindset, and things will start to change. Again, it's your attitude, right? It comes back to what you think, how you feel, and your actions. That's your attitude. So if you create a better attitude with a growth mindset, then you'll find something that'll be more fulfilling. You'll find that, get passionate about something. Find that thing that you always wanted to do but never did. Kind of settled for whatever, and you just kind of gave up on it. And get that lit up again. Get your imagination lit up again. Start thinking about things in a different way, and have a more fulfilled life. And then, of course, the satisfaction that you get from having a better attitude, creating some ideas, tackling some of those ideas, and expanding your business, or creating a business, or growing from where it was you were to way more successful, and make 2024 the year that happens. So that's the 10 things that, they would benefit you in that way. Increased resilience, unleashed creativity, transformed perspective on failure, elevated self-confidence, strengthened relationships, heightened motivation, accelerated learning, optimistic outlook, enhanced problem solving, fulfillment, and satisfaction. So if you've been listening to this now for the last 20 minutes and some of this has resonated with you, it's like, yeah, that's what's going to happen for me in 2024. I'm going to just change the way I think and change my attitude, and life's going to be way better. Well, way to go for making that decision. And before you go, let's talk about the paradigm again. The paradigm, Bob Proctor used to call it the terror barrier. So when you get that big idea and you're thinking about it, it's like, okay, well, now it's time to take some action on it. And all of a sudden you come right up against it. And it's talking to you. It's telling you can't do this. You shouldn't do this. That's that little voice in your head. And, well, those are the beliefs that you have, and the habits that, the habitual way of thinking. And it's automatic now. You've thought about it this way for years, and that paradigm has been working itself for years, ever since that grade 4 teacher told you were no good at math, or you shouldn't sing, or whatever those little comments were that stuck with you. You grew up in a household where there was never any money and it was always lack. That's kind of how you think today. So if that's what you want to change, some of that stuff, then that's what you need to do, is change that paradigm. Get excited about this stuff. These are all the things that start to stack up on each other. And when you know how to do it in a step-by-step process, you build a foundation. You don't just start up here and then fall back down. Start up here again and fall back down. No, because once you build a foundation, you've got the blocks underneath you to now take the next step, and now take the next step. And you understand what you're thinking and how you're thinking. And that makes all the difference. Then you can quantum leap. So you go from here to June of 2024 thinking, all of a sudden things just start to open up and change because you've been doing this work. And this work is like 30 to 60 minutes a day, at least 30. But you got to make that decision. You got to make that commitment to yourself to do it. And when you do, those things start to stack up. You fix one thing, makes it easier to do the second, easier to do the third, easier to do the fourth. And when you understand what you're doing, that's the catch. Understand what you're doing, eliminate the fear and the doubt, and increase your self-confidence, increase your awareness of how to think about things, become a little more positive, become an awesomist. That's what you want to do. Become an awesomist and join the team. You'll be so happy you did. So many benefits that come out of this program, I must say. So beware of your paradigm, get excited about these things, and make a decision to change your 2024. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be different. And as you look at things, and as you develop a better relationship with your spouse or whoever, your kids or your boss or whoever that relationship can be developed with, then know that you can do a better job, and you will. So a growth mindset, that's all you need. Accept the idea that you're going to accept or adopt a growth mindset. So the last thing I want to say is the key to having a growth mindset is to understand how you think and how you change that thinking through a step-by-step scientific process. There are things to do first to create a foundation for what you will learn next. So I'm creating a program called Next Level Solutions. And it's all about this particular idea of a growth mindset and the same thing for finances and wealth. Next Level Solutions. get to the next level and have a look around, see if you like it. And as you do this, QR code right here, take a picture of the QR code. And I guess if you're on your phone, that won't work, but I guess you could take a picture of the screen and then take a picture or catch the QR code. And that is the gift I've been talking about, the gift that keeps on giving. So that is called the Mental Dynamite Bundle. There's videos, there's audios, there's teachings in there, just like this, along, well, only much better, along a growth mindset. Change your attitude, change your life. Your attitude towards life is life's attitude towards you. So make it a better attitude and grow, and you'll be glad you did. And that concludes the 13th episode of O'Reilly O'Reilly. So I'd like to thank everybody. And this has been recorded. So appreciate any comments and appreciate you being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.